Ulysses S. Grant, the war hero's last battle. Ulysses S. Grant is best known as the 18th President of the United States and the commander who led the Union to victory during the Civil War. A man of immense resilience, he fought not just on the battlefield, but also in the political arena, spearheading Reconstruction and championing civil rights for Black Americans. In his final years, Grant faced his toughest fight yet, one not waged with cannons or armies, but with pain and dignity. Diagnosed with throat cancer, he spent his last days racing against time, writing his memoirs to provide for his family. In his last photograph, he appears frail, wrapped in a blanket, sitting on the porch of his home. His once steely gaze is now softened by suffering, yet determination lingers in his eyes. Even in pain, he fought to leave behind a legacy. Amelia Earhart, the vanishing dream. Amelia Earhart defied gravity, not just in flight, but in spirit. At a time when the skies were considered a man's world, she soared above expectations, inspiring women everywhere. She was fearless, breaking records with the wind in her hair and a daring fire in her soul. Her final journey was her most ambitious, 29,000 miles around the world. As she posed for her last known photograph in Lae, Papua New Guinea, just days before her disappearance, she looked confident, yet weary. Perhaps deep down, she knew the risk she faced. When her plane vanished over the Pacific, so did a piece of history. The mystery of what happened lingers, but her bravery remains immortal. John F. Kennedy, a moment frozen in time. John F. Kennedy, young, charismatic, and full of hope, carried the dreams of a nation on his shoulders. His presidency was a beacon of optimism, marked by eloquent speeches, calls for civil rights, and an unwavering vision for the future. On November 22, 1963, as he rode through the streets of Dallas, he smiled at the sea of waving hands and eager faces. In his last photograph, he is seen just moments before tragedy struck. Jackie sits beside him, radiant in pink, unaware of the horror about to unfold. A heartbeat later, gunshots echoed through Dealey Plaza, and the world stood still. The image captures the final seconds of a leader who inspired millions, leaving behind an unfulfilled promise. Nikola Tesla, the forgotten genius. Brilliant, eccentric, and misunderstood, Nikola Tesla was a man ahead of his time. He envisioned a world powered by wireless energy, yet died in obscurity. His genius rivaled Edison's, but where Edison thrived, Tesla struggled. The financial success that eluded him was no match for the boundless imagination he possessed. In his last known photograph, taken in his lonely hotel room, Tesla looks frail, yet his piercing eyes still hold the fire of invention. He had spent his last years feeding pigeons, whispering to them as if they were his last friends. A mind that once dreamed of lighting up the world now flickered in the shadows of neglect. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the weight of a nation. Franklin D. Roosevelt carried America through its darkest hours, the Great Depression and World War II. A leader who exuded confidence. He reassured a desperate nation with his steady voice and unwavering resolve. Yet behind the podium, he fought his own silent battle against polio. His last photograph, taken just days before his passing, shows a tired but resolute man. The burdens of leadership had taken their toll. His face, once full of vitality, now bore the marks of time and stress. On April 12, 1945, while sitting for a portrait, he murmured, "I have a terrific headache," and moments later, he was gone. The world lost a leader, but his legacy endured. Adolf Hitler, the hollow shell of evil. Adolf Hitler, the man responsible for the deaths of millions, spent his final days trapped in the very war he had unleashed upon the world. The once fiery dictator had become a ghost of himself. Hiding in a bunker beneath the ruins of Berlin, as the Allies closed in. In his final known photograph, taken just days before his suicide, he steps outside briefly, surveying the devastation. His hands tremble from illness and paranoia. His eyes, once burning with blind ambition, now seem empty, haunted by the collapse of the empire he had built on cruelty and hate. A man who had shown no mercy now faced a merciless fate of his own making.